All right.
Laura, these were Laura's.
Hi, Ian.
Hi.
You just talked to
Welcome back
Noah.
to training at the Zipline. Doo, doo. All right, so these are the braking gloves. These are old. These are not gonna be safe at all. You can kind of see on here the friction from the brake line because it's manual shreds these. So each if you have one glove that'll last, or like a pair of gloves that'll last you for about one season if you're using that pair of gloves the entire time. Just because it wears down the leather, they become less and less grippy, so you have to put more and more pressure down to stop it.
Sure.
Um, that's pretty much the whole thing with the gloves.
So the block on the line here is not a brake?
Well, it technically is. So the way it works is so these are manual brakes. So basically, it's a pulley system. So there's a rubber block on the line. The trolley hits that.
See, now in Kansas City, that is the brake.
Yeah. But we have to hold on to that manually and slowly apply pressure, kind of like you're braking on a car. So the trolley hits that rubber block.
Yep.
As soon as that, oh, what the hell happened there? Why is there?
I know. I have no idea.
All
It's
right,
been
well,
there since I got
I'm gonna
here.
have to climb down there and get it.
Well, I'll let you.
Not the worst thing I've had to climb down to fix. So it hits that rubber block, which should be way out there.
Yep.
The rope that's tied onto that post is the braking rope that we hold. So you're gonna plant your feet basically, and I'll show you when we get up there.
Okay.
Hold it, and then as they hit that, slowly apply it like you're braking on a car, and then you reach out, grab and pull them in. So it's a process.
So you just don't want to let go of the rope is the whole thing.
Yeah, don't let go of the rope because because while there is the rubber block there, actually let me check for wasps because these bad boys love.
I already climbed up this once.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, because every year there's always really bad wasps on this. So.
It's not quite that time of year yet. It's still early, you know.
Perfect. Yeah, I would at least try and make sure to take care of the wasps before they get bad because I remember. The season before we had there's a lock on here, so I know the combo. It's always tool. It's always amused me.
Nice.
So.
Oh, I just took apart the whole door. That's funny. Yeah. It's a door. Nice.
So whenever, where was it? Yeah, whenever this is open, I always would lock this and then.
Sure.
Use the chain and close this. So sometimes you'll get little kids that will climb up here, but you can like feel when somebody's climbing up there.
Sure.
And just as long as you're keeping an eye out, you can kind of like yell down there like, hey, don't come up here, it's not safe. If you want to go on the zip line, because sometimes people think this is where you go, or the third tower, that's where you go.
Right.
Just like shout down to them, hey, tower 1 is where you go to get all that stuff get set up for it.
Trying to do this one-handed now. Come on.
Yeah. And technically, when you're up here, you should always be harnessed in. Right now, though,
And we're not.
Yeah. Right now, though, I'll get a harness on here and go out and grab that later on. But for now, I just want to check and see that everything is good. Yeah. So basically, last season we had to do a repair, or not the. Last season being the last one, it was
19,
open.
sure.
So last season we had to replace that brake line because
The rope, you mean?
Yeah, the rope, because somebody went down and the person braking on this tower, which is usually me. Usually I was right there because that means that whoever is running it and like managing it should know everything about it.
Right.
Should be on this tower because you're in between tower 1 and 2. Also, it means that you can get anywhere easily.
Sure.
And usually most of the problems happen on this tower. Because when the little kids come down for the first time, they get really scared on this tower because now they don't want to go on this one.
Sure.
And I know how to there are usually like a couple things you can say to them to get them to go. But sometimes they just don't want to go, and you just have to kind of roll.
What do you say to them to get them to go?
Usually I'll say, well, this tower, or the from 2 to 3 is a lot shorter. It's also a lot shallower. So that one is a pretty steep decline, which means you get going pretty fast. On this one, it's a lot slower, and it's a lot a shorter run than on that one. Obviously not as wordy.
Right.
Usually that's enough to get them to go, and sometimes they just need some time.
Sure.
Last season we implemented a minute rule. So if they don't leave by a minute, then just have them get down and rethink it. And if they don't want to go again, then just send it back and give them a half refund if they make it here.
All right.
And if not, usually the
Or no refund at all.
If they're not gonna go by a minute, then they're not gonna go.
Right.
Because usually they're overthinking it or they're too scared. And not just kids. There have been a bunch of adults that also get like that.
I bet.
Yeah. So we also we did this last year too. These X's right here. We put these here
For waiting.
Yeah,
marks.
because little kids are not great at following directions. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So being able to tell them, all right, wait by that X right there, and then especially
they have a visual aid.
Yeah, especially because if you say, you know what, wait over there, they see over there as this entire area.
Yeah.
And oftentimes they'll run up here, and when that's open, they're not.
Yeah. They're not safe.
They're not safe. Yeah, and they should always be tethered in.
How do we do that? Like what is
I'll show you that. I'll show you that
okay.
later.
All right.
But yeah, so these X's were there for that. These grips have been really nice, but you'll have to come through and pound them down with a hammer.
Oh sure.
That
so
way they don't
catch on people.
Catch on people, and also if somebody does fall, like if somebody trips on these stairs and hits their knee on one of those,
yeah,
they'll dig in and cut. So yeah. So for right now, I just wanted to get up here and see everything, but now I'm gonna go get harnessed up and.
I want to be harnessed up.
Yes, I can show that to you as well.
That's definitely a very important part of the whole thing. He's so fast.
I did that for 3 years. I learned how to get down really quickly.
Why don't you want to be tied to it again?
Oh, God. It was 2 long days and everything else. Games and rides, man?
I think so, yeah, yep. Thank you. I'm excited. I was here in 19, but I just worked the bungees. But I've been in Florida with Noah for a little while now. I'm just gonna be overseeing it, I guess. Yeah, and then running, of course, if I need to be. I'll be wherever I need to be.
So these colored harnesses, those are the passenger harnesses. The people who are riding it that aren't the operators. So that's what those, unless of course you know you have a particularly big operator.
So is there a different harness the operators are wearing?
Yeah, black ones. They should be here, if not.
Everything's here. Everything's here.
Black harnesses. Oh, there. Maybe they're in one of these. Oh yeah, here they are.
Oh, do they have red hand? No. Oh, okay. No, just bags.
Bags.
Black harnesses. Are they like what the climbing harnesses are?
Yes.
Yes.
They might be down there. They look like right there.
Then they're at my camp right now.
Okay, yeah. So those are the black harnesses.
Oh, they have shoulders on them.
They have shoulders on them. They're also much better for the operators because the center of gravity is more on your shoulders, which means
so it's not a climbing harness at all, though, because those are just waist.
They're probably with the climbing harness.
Oh, I just washed all those because they were terrible.
Yeah,
so they're hanging and drying right now.
Okay.
I kind of want to find them though.
I do too because those ones.